Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am so excited because this is my very first YouTube video. Anyway, so I am a little bit nervous and a bit excited. So this is going to be a learning for me, a learning curve. So this video probably won't be perfect, but if you're here, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And this video is going to be a makeup do's and don'ts. So I've been wanting to do this for a while and I finally got my setup right. So let's do it. I look really pale compared to my background, but that's okay. So before we get started, I just want to say that if I do something on the don't side that you really enjoy doing and you really like the way it looks, by all means keep doing it. We are all different. We all do our makeup different. So just because I say don't do something doesn't necessarily mean that's the hard rules. Makeup is supposed to be fun, and that's what I love about makeup. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me pick up something off the floor. So let's see, this will be the do side and this will be the don't side. Like the very top of my hair is cut out and I don't like that. That's okay. Okay, so on the do side what I'm going to do is prime. And I have my Touch Glorious Face Primer from Unique. So the reason I like to prime my face is because, several reasons. It fills in my pores and my fine lines. So the makeup just glides over and sits on top of my face. And it also keeps the makeup from mixing in with the oils on my face, so it helps my makeup to last longer. Now, primer is not an absolute must, but I just feel like it helps my makeup to last longer and look better. Alright, so the second step would be foundation. So when it comes to foundation, what you want to do is match it to your neck and your chest area, so it doesn't end up being too light or too dark. And you don't want to go with a darker shade on your face just to try to make yourself look more tan or whatever, because it's not going to work. It's just going to look really odd if you have like a tan face and a white neck. So on the do side, I'm going to go ahead in with my Mineral Touch Liquid Foundation from Unique. Let's see. There we go. I don't think it's going to focus. No. No. Okay. Anyways. So, and I'm going to go in with my, this is a Sigma F80 Flat Kabuki brush. And I'm going to put a couple drops on it. And I'm going to just start working that in on our good side. This foundation sets to a powder and it's like really velvety and lightweight, which I love. And it's really buildable, so I can go for like a high medium coverage or a super full coverage. And I'm just going to blend it. You want to bring it down on your neck. This is going to be kind of tough to get one side of foundation. Like get it exactly even. Okay, so you can see it looks really natural. It matches my neck and it looks good. Okay, so on the second side what I have is a little sample of Laura Mercier. This is the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation and it is too dark. I can't remember. I think it came in one of my Sephora orders a while back. So I'm going to show you the don't side and how, when your foundation is too dark, how it can look. I don't think there's anything left in here. Oh, there we go. Alright, I'm just going to dab it around on my face. And I'm going to go in. This is a different brush. Sorry. I'm going to dab it in, buff it in, just like I did on the other side. And I'm also just going to stop right here at my jawline. So, oh God, that's so dark. You can see this is not flattering. I mean, this is really a big difference. I didn't realize, y'all, I'm like super pasty right now, but I didn't realize that this was this dark. Okay, so that's all blended out, and while it is a really nice foundation, it's not my color. And it looks burnt. Okay, so the next thing we would apply would be concealer. And so, let me find my concealer. What you want to do when it comes to concealer is go 1 to 2 shades down from your foundation. So this is the shade Scarlet. This is a unique product. It is the Mineral Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer. And this is a really good concealer. It's full coverage. So I'm just going to go in with my finger and put some dots on there and go ahead and hit the top of my eye while I'm at it. And I'm going to take my sponge and blend it on out. So I put it, what you want to do is come down in like a V motion. And then go ahead and get the top of my eye. Ooh, contact. Okay, so you come down like this in a V just so it covers that whole under eye area and brightens up the entire thing. Okay. Whoops. So, on this side where my foundation is darker, what you don't want to do is go like 6 shades lighter for the concealer. It's not going to look flattering. It's going to be a big contrast, and it's just going to look not right. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to go a little overboard. You don't want to go like overboard with the concealer either, because it can just get real cakey. So same thing, I'm going to go in with my beauty blender or beauty sponge and blend it out the best that I can. Okay. So you can see that there's a big contrast between my under eye area and the rest of my face. It looks a lot lighter, and it just doesn't flow. Okay. So usually what I like to do is take a damp sponge, the one that I've been using. I'm going to get some loose powder. I have the Maybelline Fit Me powder in 10, Fair Light, and I'm going to take this and dust it right underneath my eye, and I like to pat it in. I just feel like it helps like melt the powder into the skin better. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same on the other side, just like that. And you can use whatever is left over just to set the rest of your face. So like I said, this unique foundation dries down to like a powder finish, and I've been really dry, and I used to always set my foundation, but lately I haven't been. I've been wanting to be more glowy, and that's been working really well for me. So I'm going to let this bake for just a minute, and we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and do the brows next. So what I have is my Moodstruck Brow Obsession palette. It looks like this. And we're going to do the good side first. So what I always like to do is take a spoolie and brush through. Let me get my mirror set up a little bit better. Okay. Brush through the hairs and get them going all the same way. And then I take a little flat tip brush. Whoops, there we go. So I usually kind of dab into the light and dark shades for most of my brow. Let me bring that down a little bit. And then at the front of my brow, I just go in with the light shade. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started, and this is the way I do my brows. So I start right here underneath, and I do along the bottom first, and I like to do little hair strokes throughout, and I just follow the natural shape of my brow. And then I come to the top. Now when I come to the top, I don't start all the way here. I start about, I start about a quarter of the way back and then go along the top of it. Again, following the natural shape. And I'm a little high. So I just follow my arch and then I just do little baby hair strokes like I said. Okay, so when it gets to the front of my brow, what I'm going to do is dip in that light shade and I just kind of lightly feather through the front of my brow, very lightly, because I want it to look natural and I don't want it to be completely like filled in and blocky. And then what I like to do is take my spoolie again and brush through all of the hairs, and that just helps the powder mix with the hairs and it just looks so much more natural. Okay, so there we go. That's the first eyebrow. Looking good, looking good. Let's do the don't side. So on the don't side, what you want to don't want to do is, if you have, you don't want to go a lot darker than your hair, what your natural hair color is. So like if you're blonde, you don't necessarily want to go with black eyebrows. So my hair is pretty dark, but I still use these two browns that aren't, they're not black, they're not very dark. So I'm just going to grab this darkest shade, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the bottom. And go ahead and get the tail end of it fixed, and we'll talk about the front of the brow. Okay, so you don't want to take and just make this all blocked in and heavy at the front, because it's just, again, it's not going to look natural and it's just not, again, flattering. And on the tail end of the brow, you don't want to drag it down too far, like way down here. Like, you don't want to extend it much, because it's going to make your eyes look droopy and like this side of your face is kind of sagging. So see over here, I stopped up here, and over here it's drug way down. So I'm not going to brush that through. This is just how it is. I'm going to go ahead and dust away my under eye area. Okay. So now let's talk about bronzing or contouring. So when it comes to bronzing and contouring, you want to go, there's cooler shades and there's warmer shades. I'm very fair skinned, so I like to go with the cooler tones, and if you're more tan and have a more olive or darker complexion, you can go with the warmer tones. So this is my Tarte Clay Play. Please ignore this guy. He fell out and shattered my heart right along with it. So, but you can tell there's a little bit left over. This is very warm and this is more cool toned. So this is what I like to use so that it doesn't look too much. It looks very natural. So I'm just going to take a little fluffy brush and dab right there in that cooler toned, and I'm going to, ooh, that's the good side. I'm going to just follow really lightly the hollows of my cheeks. These are so pigmented, I forget. So I'm just going to buff it in and up. And I like to do my forehead, and then my jawline. I'll get a little bit on the jawline. Okay, and you do want to keep it, that's a little heavy. Let me fix that. So you want to keep this area, you don't want to drag the contour down, because then that kind of defeats the purpose of contouring. You want to keep it right there in the hollows of your cheekbone. On the don't side, I'm going to go right in to this. You can see there's a little bit left, and it's a lot warmer than the middle shade. So I'm going to dab into that. Just got way too much probably. And on the don't side, we're going to put that Like I said, you don't want to bring it down either because that just defeats the point of contouring. So let me go ahead and put a little bit of this warmer. Ooh, so much. Okay. Yikes. I look really terrible. I'll try to even fix that a little bit. So, oh gosh. I promise I'm not intentionally trying to make myself look this bad. So our good side looks very natural and not too much. And then this side, it's bad. It's bad, girl. Okay, let's move on to eyeshadow. Nope, pause. Let's do blush first. So when it comes to blush, it can be a little tricky, but okay, so I have my Sigma F40 brush that I use for blush. So on the do side, I just like to lightly dab, and then I kind of like brush it off on the back of my hand. And I start right here, kind of on the apple, but a little bit behind the apples of my cheek, and I just lightly brush it back. Okay? Just like that. And you can build it up. I start out really light, just so that it doesn't look overdone. So the point of blush is just to put a little bit of color back in your cheeks, because when you put on all that foundation and concealer, it basically is like a blank canvas. Okay, so on the don't side, I'm just going straight in, and I'm going to put it right here on the apples of my cheek and then start brushing it back. It looks like I've been working out for 2 hours and I'm very flushed on this side. Okay, so this again, just more natural and more flattering. I'll go back and put a little bit more. Okay, moving on to the eyes. Let me find me a fluffy brush. Okay, so let me grab, I'm just going to work with my Tarte Toasted palette for now. And it looks like this. It's very pretty. Okay, so on the do side, what you want to do is add some lighter shades and some transition shades and work up rather than going in with like a dark shade. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab the color S'more right here and put it all over the lid from the eyelash line all the way up to my brow. Okay. And that just, I put that concealer on my eye earlier, so this is just setting that concealer, and that is mostly what I use as an eyeshadow base. So the next thing I'm going to go in with is the color Cashmere. And I'm just going to work it right up in that upper crease area, which is also known as the transition area. Okay, now the second color I'm going to go with over here is this color Latte. It's a warm brown color, and I'm going with that same fluffy brush. I'm just going to try to keep it a little bit lower. Okay, so now that I have a couple transition shades laid down, now I'm going to go in with a little bit of a darker color. So my rule is the lighter the color, the higher I bring it. The darker the color, I keep it, the lower I keep it, the lower to my lash line. So you want to work from like lightest to darkest. And now I'm going to grab the color Cozy. And I have a little bit of a smaller fluffy brush, and I'm going to work that right here on the outer part of my eye and up in my crease just ever so slightly. Okay. Okay, so on the don't side, what I'm going to do is go straight in with this color Cozy. And I'm just going to put it right here in the crease area. And you can see that because I don't have those transition shades laid down, it's a little bit patchy and it's just not looking as good. And it's also giving me quite a harsh line. Okay, so this is what we got so far. It's looking a little harsh. I mean, it doesn't look the worst, but it's just, this is more of like a gradient effect, and it's just more, it's just prettier in my opinion. Okay, so for the lid, scratching my ear. Okay, so for the lid, what I like to do is do a shimmery shade. I don't use shimmers on the outer part of the eye just because it looks, to me it looks better on the inside, and the way, the lighter you keep the inside of your eye, the more awake and open your eyes will look. So dark colors on the inside of your eye can make them look real closed up. So I'm going to take, I'm sorry, that was gross. Alright, so I'm going to take this flat top brush there, and I'm going to grab the color. I'm going to grab my brush and go right here in the color Cozy, which is the darkest shade, and on the don't side I'm going to go ahead and put that all the way up under my lash line from inner to outer corner. So, and you want to keep it, oh, wrong side. You don't want to keep or bring the darker shades down. It's just going to drag your eye down and make you look like you have a droopy eye or face. So this is the eye look without mascara or eyeliner. This side looks really open and good, and then this side looks kind of sad. Okay, so moving on to eyeliner. Eyeliner is kind of hard to mess up. I usually put it on my top lash line. Sometimes I'll put it in my waterline. It just depends on the eye look. So I'm just going to go straight into mascara. And I have the Unique Moodstruck Epic Mascara, which is amazing. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it on both sides. Again, I feel like mascara is kind of hard to mess up. So the only way you mess up is if you don't wear it. Because it just completes any eye look. Okay, now I have my mascara done. And I'm not going with any false lashes today or anything like that. So let's move on to highlighter. I wish I would have brought my other highlighter in here, but I didn't. So what I have here is the Touch a la Mode Powder Illuminizer from Unique. Looks like this, and this is in the shade Benevolent. So let me grab a brush. Alright, so what you do want to do is keep the highlighter on the outer part of your face, right here kind of up under the corner of your eye. And I just like to brush it up and keep it there, and then you can go a little bit here and on the tip of your nose and the Cupid's bow. What you don't want to do is bring it all the way here, starting at the front and bringing it back. What it can do, shimmery products can emphasize pore size and texture. So if you have larger pores, this is just going to enhance them. So you don't want to bring it all the way up here. Okay. And the last thing is lipsticks. I feel like lipstick is pretty hard to mess up as well. So my only tip is, if you're going to wear a nude lipstick, I recommend lining your lips, because I don't know if y'all have this problem, but sometimes nude lipsticks can make you look kind of like dead, and that's just not a good look. So if you add some eyeliner, and this one is not eyeliner, lip liner. So let me go ahead and do 1/2 of my mouth on the do side. This is the Unique Moodstruck Precision Pencil in Pouty. It's just a very nude. I love this lip liner so much. So I'm going to go ahead and, yikes, line. Ooh, that was all up in the way. Okay, so this is 1/2 lined, and what I'm going to do is go in with the Splash liquid lipstick in Superior, and it also is a nude again. And let's just put it on and see what happens. I'm trying to get all the excess off. These are such good lipsticks. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Skirt, back up. Okay, so I'm going to go in with, oh my god, Stellar. And the Splash liquid lipstick in Stellar. So I have the good side lined, and again, this is kind of a nude. Okay, so I know that this is like super subtle and probably really hard to see on camera, but what the lip liner does is it gives just like a little definition to the lips and makes them look slightly bigger, and then over here there's not as much definition. I don't know if y'all can tell that. So the last thing you want to do is grab some setting spray and let's set the good side. Setting spray locks it in and helps your makeup stay in place, and it kind of helps melt the powder and the foundation into your skin for a more natural look. So this is it. Okay, let's take a look at the good side. Oh yeah, that's so good. I really like it. This is like something I would do normally. And then the bad side, it just looks very unnatural and not good. So it's yay, boo. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching my very first video, and I hope there's going to be a lot more to come. If you have any suggestions, whatever, leave it down below. Also, please give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you would like to. So again, thank you for being here, and I will see you later. Bye.